Good evening, you are watching My Media Prime Television. This is Prime News Live from our studios in Douala, Cameroon's economic capital. With me, Fon Quinter, begin today's edition of Prime News in the Southwest region, where some internally displaced women drawn from Fakutsu section have been schooled on the importance of living together. This was during a 3-in-1 ceremony that took place in Boya to commemorate the 39th anniversary of President Paul Biya's ascension into power. Clarice Okoe completes the story from Boya.
One of the major threats to national security in Cameroon within the course of the ongoing Anglophone crisis is the increasing use of hate speech. Gathered at the Cultural Center in Boya, these are some IDP women drawn from Moyoka who receive lectures on the dangers of hate speech and their individual roles in mitigating the social cankerworm. These during a 3-in-1 ceremony organized by the Member of Parliament for Fako East, Honorable Findi Mokondo, as part of activities to commemorate President Biya's 39th ascension to power.
It was necessary that we had to drill the militants on certain aspects of that can maintain social peace. And we decided to come up with the topic of hate speech as related to living together, which is a symposium where we are going to make them understand the ills of hate speech.
Cognizant with the challenges faced by IDP women from Moyoka, this 3-in-1 ceremony was also a platform to empower these women on basic skills, give them with foodstuff, among other equipment, all in a bid to improve their standard of living.
The present context which the militants of Fakutsu are going through is peculiar. Our women have been internally displaced for the past 5 years. They have been struggling to do petty businesses without any expertise. We realized that it was necessary to get them together, train them on some petty trade, how to make fish pie and some domestic items, where we're going to provide startup capitals for them. I personally carried out renovations work at the Puna sub-district, of which I renovated some wards. And I thought it necessary because of the constant power cuts to hand over a modern generator and some other equipment like a grass cutting machine and a water pump.
Also present during this event, Mayor Lazar of the Moyoka Council congratulated the councillors and other stakeholders who all join hands in ensuring that relative calm return to Moyoka, while urging them to remain united for more development.
The Fakutsu culture that the mayor have to collaborate with the MP, all the councillors and the politicians so that we succeed.
It should be noted that this year's celebration of the 39th ascension to power of the national president of the ruling CPDM party was done at divisional levels.
Our plans are on the way to include persons with disability in development and humanitarian programs in the Southwest region. This was disclosed by Agbo Valerie Arab, president of the coordinating unit of the Association of Persons Living with Disability in the Southwest region. Clarice Okoe once more.
The 4 years ongoing Anglophone crisis has no doubt affected all spheres of life. The case of persons with disability is more precarious given their vulnerability. In crisis-affected zones of the Southwest region, persons with disability face a couple of challenges, including low humanitarian responses that can identify their specific needs, exclusion from participation in developmental projects, among others.
The legal instrument states clearly that they are part of the society, they're part of the community, and so you are not doing it as a result of a favor, but it is his or her right. Persons with disability are knowledgeable, they have the sound mental capacity to contribute to development.
It is on this backdrop that the coordinating unit of Association of Persons with Disability of the Southwest region is looking forward to the organization of its first regional conference under the theme Changing Our Perspective for an Inclusive and Local Development that will bring on board important stakeholders in the region to brainstorm on the concept of disability and ensure an inclusive development.
This workshop is coming at a time where we observe that before now, most programs are not inclusive. But when we exchange this note and after this conference, a lot is going to change.
The conference, built for Wednesday, November 10, 2021 to Thursday, November 11, 2021 in Boya, will be chaired by the President of the Southwest Executive Council.
Organizing the first ever Southwest Regional Conference for Organizations of Persons with Disability, running between the 9 and 10, 11th of November 2021, venue Boya Mountain Hotel. This is to tell you that while we were going on a low key, we're gathering steam to come back with a very interesting activities.
It is expected that through the program, equal and fair opportunities will be given to persons with disability in the execution of developmental plans based on their technical know-how.
Persons traveling between Boya and Kumba in the southwest region were yesterday, November 8, 2021, subjected to torture by suspected separatist fighters. The passengers and drivers were made to jog while promising never to use that stretch and ghost town these, while some were flogged. The act has been condemned by many, as a nursing mother was amongst those tortured. We stay in the southwest region where militants of CPDM party in Ekondo Titi in Diantu section have celebrated President Paul Biya's 39th anniversary in power. The population of Ekondo Titi were called upon to stand behind the president as the country prepares to host the upcoming African competitions. Get full details in the following report done for us by Moki Regan.
Militant of the CPDM party of Ekondo Titi in Diantu session in particular and the population in general has been called to rally behind President Paul Biya as Cameroon look forward to host AFCON 21. The call was made by the Diantu session president during the celebration of the 39th anniversary of the ascension of President Paul Biya to the Supreme Magistracy.
We should all unite behind President Paul Biya to give that boost so that he can organize this upcoming 2021 African Cup of Nations successfully, hitch-free, so that the country can continue to be regarded as that great football nation.
With road being their major headache, he added,
The roads are very pathetic. Unfortunately, when government took that concern to tar, because of the situation and the prevalent circumstances, the contract came to a halt. We hope things will be better in the near future.
The celebration was pregnant with speeches, animation, and motion of support from the Diantu session to President Paul Biya as the president of YCPDM. Gimo Dere called on his fellow youth to leave the bushes and come back home.
Those who think that they should be staying in the bushes, I want to tell them that they are deceiving themselves. Let us come back to our normal way of living and enjoy what the head of state has kept in stock for us.
It should be noted that the 39th anniversary was celebrated in Ekondo Titi, home of the Cameroon Prime Minister and Head of Government, Chief Dr. John Guti, with profound joy and happiness under the watchful eyes of the divisional officer for Ekondo Titi subdivision, as another rendezvous has been booked for November 6, 2022.
The newly elected members of the Meme League of the Cameroon Football Federation have met in Kumba, chaired by the newly elected president, Sumelong James Ewane. The meeting had in attendance other stakeholders in the division, as Tamfu Sidwan tells us.
The first familiarization meeting bringing together newly elected officials of the Meme League of Cameroon Football Federation, headed by Sumelong James Ewane, and other stakeholders, presidents of football association and municipal authorities, took place on Friday, 5th November 2021 in Kumba. The interactive session was timely, as the president says they are ready and capable to take football to a celebrative moment again, as sport cannot be discussed in Cameroon without the past glories of soccer in Meme division.
I was part of the past glories that you mentioned as a player. And then I went away for some time and I came back and the glimmer was gone. It's not going to take a day to bring that glimmer back. And I hope that within my term, I will either get there or at least prepare a pedestal from which other people will attain that glimmer.
During the meeting, Mr. Tambe Eno Bernard donated gold net and Feka Food handbook to the incoming team as a payback for starting his football journey in Kumba as a celebrated referee in the second and first division, and even a member of the Referee Association in Cameroon.
We have poor pitches, we have bad goal nets, and so on and so forth. And even the laws of the game are not well interpreted. So I decided today to give goal nets to the newly elected executive of Emily of Food, and the internal rules and regulations of Food, which is like the Bible of the Federation.
He says he prays that other stakeholders support football in Meme Division.
I'm encouraging administrators in town, municipal administrators, civil administrators, and so on and so forth. Let them do something for this town because Kumba is right behind. You cannot talk football without developing in Cameroon. Kumba is opportune to have had some of us, and I'm just appealing that we all put hands on deck to do something. We have so many people out of Kumba.
Quiz on how possible football can be reanimated in the division. Sumilong James Ewane says he is optimistic about the project.
It is in anticipation of what we feel stakeholders should do, because it is not the affair of the president alone or his first vice president or his second vice president or the homologation committee or the teams. Other people play an important role. The brilliant, the glamorous past that you mentioned a while ago was actually fanned, was ignited and supported by even people in the market of Kumba.
Elections are over and the James Ewane-led team will only be judged at the end of their mandate.
Due to lack of viability of its textile industry, Cameroonian-made outfits are still struggling to establish in local markets in their country. Though more young designers are weaving a local offer, importers continue flooding the country with new clothes from Europe and Asia. Joingok spoke with some Cameroonian designers and put together the following report.
The fashion industry in Cameroon still faces difficulties finding a place in local wardrobes. To counter the domination of imported products, local designers are trying to stand out with a creative offer. According to stylists like Ama Betran, they aim to capture customers who are looking for originality and multiply production.
We now come up with the classic casuals like this, which don't necessarily need to carry a lot of those fabrics. We make it very simple and classy, elegant, which you can always put it on. We can do something like this for you. It has a cap, it has a touch of the fabric which you feel is too expensive. So, as an African designer, we can always create options for our clientele. We give them an option which is very affordable. Turning up in this, you might still look the same like the person who had the more expensive outfit. And we have stuffs which range from the same amount, like 10,000 francs and above. So, we are now trying to create a market where everybody can reach out to something.
Several other brands have flourished with the aim of achieving significant circulation while expressing their uniqueness. Brands that intend to seduce customers by symbolizing made in Cameroon.
We have a lot of events that will require African and made in Cameroon outfits. You know, we've lived in a culture where a lot of people have been wearing suits to weddings, but right now, I think what attracts people more to what you wear are stuff that we create ourselves, our culture. Things have been dominating the market like the atogo, the handmade, the bamileke, and all of that. When you wear that to a Cameroonian occasion, even in Cameroon and abroad, you stand different. So I've been trying my possible best to create new designs.
The promotion of local production, however, seems to be difficult as it is rather expensive, a deficit which the designers blame on high cost and unavailability of inputs.
The fabrics itself, they're a little bit expensive. Like when it comes to our Northwest, our Bamenda outfit, look like, for example, this fabric, this is a beautiful African fabric. It is called Ndo. It's from the Western region, the Bamilekes. It happens to be one of the most expensive African fabric. A meter of it is 50,000 francs. So imagine you have to style an outfit like this. I saw this 200,000, 750,000. Averagely, a normal worker, based on our Cameroon's economy, how things are difficult right now, thinking about moving 150,000 maybe to spend on an outfit like this, knowing you can get you like 15 Western casuals. I think a lot of people prefer to go for that.
In reality, Cameroon still imports more clothes. In 2019, the country spent more than 100 billion francs CFA to import over 121,000 tons of textile materials, with nearly 4 billion on second-hand clothes. The local textile industry, still in its infancy, is therefore suffocated.
Join Gang reports in the now in prelude to the 10th anniversary of Freda's International Award Fashion Avenue FIAFA, scheduled for November 19, 2021. The promoter Freda's Demfola Fred has unveiled the package of the upcoming event. This was during a press briefing which took place in Douala over the weekend. Audrey Zadza was there and put together the following report.
As Cameroon prepares to host one of the biggest fashion events in Africa, the organizers of the Fredash International Annual Fashion Avenue, abbreviated as FIAFA, are hastening up with preparations. Just like fashion events around the world, FIAFA has adapted to continue connecting homegrown brands with buyers. On the occasion of its 10th anniversary scheduled for November 19, a press briefing in Bonamusa di Douala on November 6 focused on the organization of this event and the benefits that accompany it. This year's edition is said to be a memorable one.
FIAFA this year, it's been starting on very, very well. We are promising Cameroon, this is our beloved country, the love, the peace, and of course, the arts and culture of this country. FIAFA this year is going to bring together people from all over the 10 region and of course Africa to come showcase the beauty, the color of various outfits, because we are trying to promote the art and creativity of our designers, the various ways that we produce here in Cameroon. So at the end of the day, what we are doing is that we are trying to empower young designers by creating workshops and seminars and this platform for them to exhibit their work and creativities so that people will buy, and consume their goods.
The event that is meant to bring forward creativity, self-expression and ingenuity equally has as goal to promote the Cameroonian fashion industry, which is slowly but surely evolving.
Yes, a lot have changed. If you look at only 5 years ago, we were consuming a lot of foreign products, a lot. But now, people are consuming homemade products. People are consuming our own, from the shoes, the suits, the agbada, everything, the afetu, that we wear is being made in Cameroon.
The CEO equally indicated that sponsorships, especially at the international level, has become rare than ever before, thus calling on Cameroonians to turn out massively for this event. With the challenges that exist in the modeling industry in Cameroon, Nten Louise is one of the 400 models in the country and across Africa who auditioned for the casting. She talks about overcoming the existing challenges.
I love the runway, I'm a runway model. I love anything runway. We all know that modeling in Cameroon doesn't pay like that. You can't really make a living out of it. So that is the first challenge that all of us know about. But then when you're passionate about something, you do it because of the love.
The meeting saw the presence of professional fashionistas, models, designers, and photographers. FIAFA is an emerging international annual fashion and entertainment event with models and fashion across Cameroon and Africa. The promoter has thus promised to bring in fashion, style, and beauty more than ever, the colors of Africa, to the FIAFA 2021 edition.
Ngolem Boyon-Duvey has been officially sworn into office as PCC's 11th Financial Secretary, with a call for him to improve on the finances of the church. This was during a ceremony that took place at the esplanade of the Synod office in Boya. Clarice Sekowe completes the story.
This is 38 years Mr. Ngolem Boyon-Duvey, who was officially sworn into office this Sunday as the 11th Financial Secretary of the PCC. This was during this heavily attended divine service that took place at the esplanade of the Synod office in Boya, and that brought together administrative authorities, traditional rulers, Presbyterian Christians from far and near, and a college of pastors. In his sermon titled, "You Were Created for a Purpose," the chief celebrant, Right Reverend Fon Quinter charged the newly installed with with a responsibility to bring order in the finances of the church. To achieve this, Presbyterian Christians were also urged to join hands with the newly installed PCC Financial Secretary to build a stronger church in the midst of chaos by implementing efficient management skills.
We have not been able to take up this activity, which is supposed to take place immediately, and the officer of the church is appointed. But for 6 years now, because of the crisis and many other issues, we have not been able to do that. We want to present anew in his life, and we hope that from now on we will work with more zeal and more determination in the management of the finances of our church.
Addressing Christians, the newly installed financial secretary of the PCC pledged to continue work in the same spirit and to do even much better in the management of resources of the church for the betterment of Christians.
Personally, I may not say there's something the church should expect from me, but I'm just here to execute God's plan to make sure that we manage the resources of the church, God's church, for the benefit of the community. Like Adam Smith said, any organization, be it a church or a private entity, should be able to take care of the community where it operates. And I think that's the mission of the church, to provide quality health care, quality education, vocational training, and also even to recruit, to employ many young Cameroonians.
It should be noted that Mr. Mwayon Dive took over from Madame Ines Samem Bongo as the 11th Financial Secretary of the PCC in 2015 and is presently the 4th to occupy the position nationally.
Still religious news, celebrations to mark 3 years of Champions International House of Prayer took place over the weekend at the church premises in Mulang Bamenda, the northwest region of the Kente. Charles Kiwa attended the event and now reports.
International House of Prayers Mulang Bamenda, Cameroon, celebrated the 3rd anniversary of the establishment of the church November 5th to 7th in thanksgiving the ministry shepherded by Prophet N.N. Walters. Amidst gunshots is leaving no stone unturned to ensure the vision God gave the prophet to start the church, win more souls to Christ. Supported with scripture reading from Luke 8 verses 1 to 3, 3 years of Champions International House of Prayers Mulang Bamenda. This year's celebration witnessed humanitarian outreach to the Bamenda Center Prison, the physically disabled homes, orphanage, mass evangelism in the city of Bamenda, preaching with activities that brings souls into the kingdom of Jesus Christ, to Prophet Walters N.N., overseer of Champions International House of Prayers. If you are real and I am real, then there will always be celebrations because God is real.
If you don't put fire in the car, for me to with the workers to go there, can we go? No. We will be waiting and waiting. It will be taking longer and longer. So this is the reason why sometimes some blessings in our life delay. Hallelujah.
Thanking God for using partners mightily to advance work in the Champions International House of Prayers.
Some are hunger for, they have been coming after this truth and I'm seeing it. And that's what I believe, that God has been making the people who are hunger for the truth, which we are giving out, he has been bringing those people to come and listen to that truth, because many are not ready to carry this truth from God and give out sin. They think that when they give out the truth, people will go away, members will go away.
With special decorations to some special invitees.
I think there's no church in Bamenda that pulls population at this point in time like this one. At first, before the crisis, we had other churches, but this one, to me,
all my activities, I was informing him before I do all success here in Mulang because of Pastor Walters.
Celebrating on the theme, the time of recognition and entering the 4th year recognized, Evangelist Karin, on behalf of Champions Partners, reminded members and membership is open for children of God who are willing to serve the kingdom of God financially, physically, and materially. Football, Champion Kids presentations, cutting off the anniversary cake, entering the 4th year recognized, hope to make the great anointing upon the man of God, Prophet Walters N.N. and wife, Evangelist N.M. Louis, advance in evangelism nationwide and why not international.
And November is Lung Cancer Awareness Month, set aside to amplify the importance of early diagnosis. According to statistics, lung cancer affects about 2.1 million people worldwide. Bokengo Wade completes the story.
Accounting for an estimated 1.8 million deaths yearly, lung cancer, either non-small cell and small cell cancer, is a life-threatening disease born by uncontrolled formation of cells in the body, especially the lungs, and triggered most especially by smoking, secondhand smoke, previous radiation therapy, exposure to radon, amongst others.
Cancer is an uncontrolled growth of cells in a body part. Now, looking at lung cancer, we are looking at this uncontrolled cell growth at the level of the lungs. One of the most predisposing factors to lung cancer in our world of today is smoking. According to the Mayo Clinic, smoking accounts to about 80% of lung cancer cases in our world. Apart from smoking, other risk factors to lung cancer will include, we have genetic factors, that's family genes, we have inhalation of toxic substances.
Being the second most common kind and form of cancer in both men and women worldwide, early diagnosis and recognition of the signs and symptoms is key for survival as well as preventing the disease.
Some of the signs and symptoms to lung cancer will include persistent cough for about 2 to 3 weeks, the coughing out of blood, we have breathlessness. Remember, we are talking about lung cancer, and the lung is responsible for gaseous exchange, that is, the taking in of oxygen and the sending out of carbon dioxide. If this system is tampered with, obviously there will be difficulties in breathing.
The nurse, Babla, lays emphasis on the fact that
having all these symptoms, will you say you have lung cancer? No. We should not conclude so fast. You go to the hospital and you get your diagnosis to confirm your test.
It is important to note that lung cancer is much more prevalent and susceptible to men than on women. Though lung cancer, like every other cancer, can be preventable, healthy lifestyle choices, regular physical exercise, avoid smoking as well as secondhand smoke, regular medical checkup at the hospital are paramount in achieving the estimated 5-year survival rates for all cancers.
Bokenga Waters' report on lung cancer concludes the 6:30 p.m. edition of News on My Media Prime Television. My name is Fon Quinter. Keep watching programs on the African Eye. Stay with us. Good night.